And level key?
Joe?
Yeah.
Rolling.
Common Surface Savings and Loan Bank in downtown Garage Logic brings you a Garage Logic podcast. Son of a gun. I forgot to write down the records again. 1542, May 9th.
She was hot. Yep.
2025.
John has them.
She was cold. I was hot. The cold was cold.
We had a day when it was pretty darn warm, and then we had another day that was pretty darn chilly for this time of year. Oh, wait, they're right here. They're right here. I got them. Stop.
I can't.
And now, from the mayor's office above
You can give it
the
to us once
boathouse on the east
once
shore
Tony
of
Lee is
Spoon
done.
Lake, it's Garage
It's a
Logic.
runaway
with
train
Chris
now,
Reavers
Joe.
manning Technology
Never
Corner,
coming
Kenny
back.
Olson from the Krabby Coffee Shop, John Haidt in the newsroom, and of course, the rookie. Here is your flashlight king, fireworks commissioner, and the keeper of common sense, your mayor, Joe Souchere.
Here we go.
Can you? No, I can't show it. There's a gap between where I wrote the records and where I usually write the records. There's a gap. See, Rook?
You're out of your
It's out of
comfort
routine.
zone.
That's
yeah,
right.
routine.
Just
that
one
remi-
little thing.
Yeah, but this one will get you. The other day, I couldn't find the television remote.
Yeah.
You know where I put it? On the telephone recharger.
I wish I could say that I haven't put the cottage cheese in the cupboard.
Yeah.
You got
91
CRS.
degrees on this day in 1987, and it was 27 degrees on this day in the morning of this day. I would have bet it was in the morning. 1966. So,
All right. Thank you, GLers. Have a great weekend.
I'm getting a fun Friday vibe here.
I am
Matt,
too.
What have I told you for a long time?
Save money.
Don't talk so much.
It's not how long, it's how much.
Quit singing your sentences.
Yeah, you say don't
Tells them
sing
a lot of
everything.
stuff.
Stop playing with it.
Fill this car
leave it
up
alone.
with gas.
I've told you that there's no such thing as a fun Friday.
God, I love you guys.
I
You know
have
hate you all.
the, no, you don't. You told me before the show you didn't.
I do.
I have the governor's complete schedule. I hope Cockwomble shows up there.
He already is. I saw a television interview with him this morning at Cross Lake.
It's the, actually, last night there was an on-site check-in between 3 p.m. and 7 p.m. at the Whitefish Lodge. I doubt if our governor had to be there that early. And then today there's a media event at Manhattan Beach Lodge. More on-site check-in. Then we have a fry stocking event. We have a Loon pontoon boat ride. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
And then they visit the Cross Lake Log Village. Okay, let's cut to the chase.
Let's go.
Where is the Saturday? That's tomorrow, right?
Yes.
Yes.
5 a.m. to 5 p.m. fishing. That's on the schedule.
5 a.m. to what?
5 p.m.
12 hours?
What is the % chance that your governor, King Walls, is on the water for 12 hours?
Cockwomble will be home by noon. Be my guess. 8 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. a launch ceremony at the Army Corps Cross Lake Rec Area. 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. a shore lunch, walleye and wild rice pinwheels, baked beans and slaw, and chips. Beverages, we note, are pop and water.
Okay.
I don't think Cockwomble would miss the lunch, would he?
No, you got a wild rice pinwheel?
Oh, boy, I don't even know what that is.
It sounds good. I love wild rice.
You're the food guy. What's a wild rice pinwheel?
I don't know.
Well, that's the
Maybe it's something native.
That's the schedule, and there are mayors of small towns up there.
What are they serving for beverages?
Pop and water.
Well, I woke up to go get me a cold pop.
Oh, I love her. What was
We
her
should
name?
have
Sweet Brown.
Sweet brown.
Sweet Brown.
We should have brought my pontoon up there. It's bring your own chair. It's that kind of pontoon.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you sit on the floor.
Right.
But that would have been fun.
Otherwise, you might drown.
Leave it. Leave it to NPR to do a Debbie Downer on the fishing opener.
No.
Which is a big event in this state. It's a big deal.
Can I guess?
Hurting
Yes.
mother?
I'm guessing poisoned fish.
Boy, are you on the right track.
Are we hurting Mother?
In Cross Lake, Governor's fishing opener spotlights the lethal impact of lead tackle to Minnesota's loons.
Oh, dear God. Dear God.
Honest to God.
Oh, thank you, NPR. I hadn't laughed that hard yet today.
They got a long story about this. When Governor Tim Walz cast a line into the whitefish chain of lakes in north-central Minnesota on Saturday, he'll be pinning his hopes for landing a lunker on a lure that doesn't contain lead. Okay. Walz and his entourage of politicians, business leaders, and members of the media will descend on the lake for the fishing opener. But Cross Lake is also home to the National Loon Center. In fact, they're going to break ground on an $18.5 million Loon Center facility in June.
Who's paying for that, Joe?
It says it's a nonprofit dedicated to research, education, and conservation. I would imagine we are, aren't we?
I would guess.
Probably.
I don't know, though. One of us should look that up, not it.
And John Mobeck, the center's executive director, and I love loons, by the way. I'm pro-loon.
Pro-loon.
I'm pro-loon.
They're kind of noisy, Joe.
Oh, it's a beautiful sound.
If you're from the cities.
John Mobeck, the center's executive director, said the fishing opener is an opportunity to highlight that one of the biggest threats loons face comes from swallowing lead sinkers, lures, and jigs.
Oh, wow.
Well, I would tell the loon, don't eat that.
Yeah.
Why are the fishermen leaving that, though?
Don't eat that. They're not leaving it. The loon comes along and takes a gulp.
Oh.
But I don't think it's a big problem, is it?
It's from snags, Matthew. You lose one. Or
Well, here,
something
I
like
can
that.
answer your question,
Gotcha.
Matt. You learn more here by accident than elsewhere by design. Loons and other birds don't have teeth, so they swallow small rocks to help digest food. Lead sinkers or small jigs can resemble those rocks. Once lead enters a loon's bloodstream, it gets disoriented. The loon does. It can't swim, dive, or care for its chicks. Well, that's sad.
That's sad. Yeah.
You'll learn more here by accident than elsewhere by design. Joe Souchere.
Isn't it a problem we can do something about? We must do something
right now, immediately.
We must do something about this. Well, when you cast out, make sure you bring it back, your line back to the boat.
When in doubt, cast out.
That's right.
What do you do when you catch a snag or a weed and your line breaks and all your tackle's on the bottom
That's
of the lake?
why when you're out fishing, you bring all your diving equipment. You have fins,
Sweet Jesus.
and you have a mask, you have a wetsuit, and a depth finder, and you might have to go down 60 feet.
Joe, I can take you to the very spot on the lake when I was a youth where my grandpa cast out his guy from the Twin Cities, not a big fisherman, cast out his brand new fishing rod, and the whole rod and everything flew right out of his hand like a baseball.
Like it's the Three Stooges.
Rookie, actual research, I want it done now. I don't want you to take 10 minutes because it
Wild rice
won't be that
pinner.
hard to find. How deep do loons dive in Minnesota lakes?
That's actually a really good question.
It is a good question,
coming
Kenny.
from
Thank
somebody like you.
Is
Yeah.
there two O's in loon?
you. Yeah.
We're off to a good start.
The common loon. Here's 33 fun facts.
Give them
Number
all
one.
one.
You know what
We
I'd
want
like,
them all.
though, Matt? Matt, I don't want that.
Matt, count down from 32
Matt.
to 1.
Yes.
Matt,
he's
when I'm calling you
sleeping
Matt, by the way,
case.
it means I'm
It means-
disappointed.
I know.
And I would like, I don't want 32 fun facts. I want,
Social. Common loons are very social.
Matt, how deep does a loon dive? Because that's what loons do. You see them swimming, the next thing you look, they're gone because they're down there looking for something. I want to know,
Okay, prior to that, the average lifespan for a common loon is 20 years.
Matt.
I'm still searching for that.
But type in what I ask you to
How
type.
fast can loons swim?
No.
How deep can
John,
a
would
loon
you
dive?
do it, please?
Yeah.
How deep can a loon dive? However, not many people know that loons can dive to depths greater than 200 feet and remain
You're
underwater
full of
for as
BS.
much as 5 minutes.
200
Loon
feet.
dives are deep because they hunt fish and other aquatic prey, but it helps them avoid predation from birds like
We
eagles
don't have 200
or
feet
herons.
deep lakes.
I know.
But the 5-minute part, I believe that.
Oh, they can disappear in front of you and show up 3 docks down.
Yeah, easy.
A
Yeah.
loon
Just a minute, I'll get to you.
can walk, but they look very awkward doing it. A loon's center of gravity is too far back for them to balance on their legs. They cannot stand up straight because they are so top heavy.
But just
know
think
what's-
if they ate a lot
Look at
of
her,
lead,
200 feet. Thanks, Mick.
if they ate a lot of lead, the balance of gravity would move forward.
His wife found the answer
She
quicker
was so
than he did.
like you. She was so annoyed. She had to text me the answer.
You mean to tell me that somebody listening to the show provided the answer I was seeking quicker than you did,
Right to the 200 feet. Boom.
with a picture of a dog for unknown reasons?
That's
a screen-
Piper. That's my screensaver.
May I ask?
Yes, you in the back, you've been patiently waiting.
Thank you very much. I'd like
Professor.
to know what's the number one fun fact about loons?
Well, I've got 33 of them here right now.
I just need number one.
Do the first 5, and that's it.
Okay.
That's it.
Joe gives in.
The adults are mainly only threatened by bald eagles and ospreys, but their eggs
Okay.
and young fledglings can fall prey to foxes,
Sure.
mergansers, a type of duck, snapping
That's
turtles.
Merganser.
Merganser?
Yeah.
It's like a duck?
Can I ask you a question?
they're shit
What?
Can I ask you something?
Go.
What the hell's fun about that?
Well,
That's
you're
that's
learning.
talking about their
Otter.
death.
Otters, too, Matthew.
Well, that's
Diverse-
really fun.
Diverse habitat. Sounds. The bird has an unmistakable sound.
Beautiful sound.
Very irritating sound.
Yeah, it's a lovely sound.
Population. This is a fun
Was
fact.
this fun?
Although it's not known exactly how many loons exist because they did not participate in the latest census, it is estimated that there are about 500 to 700,000 individual birds that are found in North America, most of them found in the southern part of the U.S. and Canada.
No, not the southern part of the U.S. Wouldn't it be the northern part of the U.S.? Are there loons in Alabama, for Pete's sake?
I guess.
bet
Well,
in
these
the
are
winter,
just
I bet there
individual
are.
birds. They're not just loons.
Number 6.
Well, I want the facts on loons, not individual birds.
Can't do it. We can't they didn't participate in the census. The sound of the common loon is so loud and haunting, it can be heard from over 1 mile away.
They will not shut up. The only thing that will shut them up is a blast from a shotgun. You got to shoot over their heads.
On many an occasion, I've been.
Oh, sorry. That's a commentary.
Have you ever seen a loon land in the water? It's more of a splashdown.
Of course I have.
Yeah,
Loons
it's very
mate for
embarrassing.
life
It's very embarrassing.
and can be monogamous for life.
This gives Cockwomble something he can talk about. He said, I was listening to GL. I know all about
Yeah.
loons.
Do you have his
Sure.
loon hat on?
Yeah.
The
Oh,
term,
I love that sound.
the
I
term
want to
is-
dedicate this portion of Garage Logic to my niece Sarah, who, along with her uncle Kenny, hates the sound of loons.
That loon sound is the beginning to a tragically hip song. I can't remember the title of the song.
Really?
The term loon comes from an old English word that means a diver.
So it's the tragically hip thing is a Looney Tune. Thank you.
Okay, Judy Dibble.
Okay, wait a minute here. He does get that one. That was
Fun Friday.
pretty
Thank you,
good.
Chris.
That was good, John.
Loon sound tragically hip. Is that what you said?
Yeah, but you're not going to find it.
Hip.
Just a biscuit
Want to
whiskers.
Okay,
Wheat Kings.
thank you. It might be, but that's a song about the prairie. I don't think it would start with a loon sound.
I'll monitor it.
You can give us the first 10 seconds.
Well,
We
can I?
won't get arrested.
It's Loon.
Told you.
Keep it going. You can do it.
Ooh, a lot of noises.
Crow.
The Paris of the prairie.
Yeah, it's Wheat Kings.
I'll be damned, Reavers. How did you find that?
He actually
Loon
did some work.
sound,
I
tragically hip
said,
song.
yeah, loon sounds, tragically hip.
Boy, I wish you knew how to do the Google as fast as that.
I got you,
Maps
Loon.
is-
200.
Where else would we have found 33 fun facts about the loon?
Okay, I'm not going to dispute that lead would be harmful to loons. I guess the only admonishment would be to the anglers, be careful.
Well, the only way lead would be harmful to loons is when you blast one out of the...
Well, I'm not taking...
Whoa.
Well, no, but you're the one who said to shut them up. You shoot a shotgun
Over
off
their head. Come on.
Well, why?
You
Can't
don't
he
shoot at them.
Why not enjoy
What do
that
they taste like?
chicken?
Got it.
Why not enjoy that beautiful sound of nature? It's just a lovely,
so good.
lovely sound.
Can't get us any sleep.
It's lush.
nonstop.
Man, it's a lush sound.
It's very
Lush
lush.
sound.
It's a lush sound.
It's very recognizable, distinct.
I want to read you something about Cockwomble. And I'm not to use this fellow's name, but I recognize the fellow. It's a real email. While catching up on the podcast, I was listening to the last day of April's offering. Thank you. I laughed my butt off listening to your discussion of Timmy code talking at Harvard University, a priceless experience. I wish to establish a context. As an employee working in the hallowed halls of higher education for over a quarter of a century, I have to share the left's thinking with you. In the belly of the beast, there is significant code talking. Currently, the phrases, in these very difficult times, or in these tumultuous times, or in these times of challenge and change, must be uttered at least twice in each conversation to indicate you're a liberal who doesn't like the Don or his policies. There are so many that it is sometimes difficult to recognize them within meetings and lectures. A recent one, as a person who cares about all people, was used to contextualize a faculty member's deep-seated desire to fight the injustices of the current federal administration. So I work in this environment day in and day out. I can count on two hands the number of conservative colleagues I have had at my college university. Ensuring we hire only liberals is baked into the process of hiring. Promotion/tenure policies ensure any conservative who sneaks in doesn't make it very far into his career. Every once in a while, one of us does make it through the process by riding the fence and not speaking up. We love the work and hold some level of responsibility to hold the line, pushing back every day. Students flock to our offices and try to enroll in our classes because we do not browbeat them or require them to produce work that echoes our beliefs. We work hard to help college kids develop critical thinking skills and support them in the process. We don't grade them on the basis of their ability to use the liberal codes within their work. Sadly, I cannot say the same for many of my liberal colleagues. Now to Walls. There is a deep desire for the liberal left to strike a chord with the hardworking conservative guy who doesn't get involved in politics. Well, that's a great point. Let me repeat. There is a deep desire for the liberal left. I think we've seen that from Obama on down, or maybe prior to that. There is a deep desire for the liberal left to strike a chord with the hardworking conservative guy who doesn't get involved in politics. The reason the libs don't get that Walls can't be that guy is because they live and work in silos. They might add air to their bicycle tires and maybe change out a faucet in their bathroom, but they have no clue what it means to work hard, get dirty, and accomplish something other than social change. They measure success in relationships based on if they can get someone to agree with them. Their egos are so out of control they can't see the world of possibilities that come alive through the spectrum of beliefs, values, and understandings of this great country should reflect. Walls is part of that group. They look down their noses at people who aren't as enlightened as them. When we disagree with them, they think that by talking with us, they can simply bring us to a higher plane of understanding, and then we'll all be on the same page. They believe we, the conservatives, need to evolve. If we don't follow them down that path and evolve to their better understanding, we aren't ready due to our white privilege, patriarchal pattern of brainwashing and colonial thinking, and or normative neurological biases. And then we don't matter anymore. were just Neanderthals who refused to enter modern society. Then they must vilify us as the root cause of all of society's problems. The vitriol, the up and coming leaders of the liberal movement are spewing their vomit all over the country. Walls is just our local example. Google AOC if you want to get a taste of what's happening. The libs are using their hatred for the orange man as their unifying focal point because beyond that, they are fractured. I really appreciate you guys and your work on the podcast. You lighten my day and help me to laugh on my ride home. Thank you, and I can't name his name. I think that was well thought out, and I don't doubt his sincerity. I'm not a fan of the orange man, as you well know, but I buy everything this guy just said. I mean, that's obviously.
That's the unifying front.
That really is.
Very well said. There's a joke among my blue-collar friends. Anytime, like, somebody asks me, how many miles on that truck of yours? And I said, well, 170,000, white privilege.
Yeah.
May I share a quick email before you do your ad,
Sure,
Mr. Mayor? Mark, who is a member of the Garage Logic Town Council. What Rookie is trying to say, loons can dive 250 feet. The bones of most birds are hollow and light, but loons have solid bones.
Oh.
The extra weight helps them dive as deep as 250 feet to search for food. They can stay underwater for up to 5 minutes.
I guess why I wanted to know the depth of a dive was because it's
Thanks, Mark.
really unlikely to encounter a lead sinker at 200 feet.
True. But did Mark add any fun facts?
He did not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mark, we're going to need 34.
Yeah, you got to do a little
fun
more
facts.
research.
Yeah, I like Matthew's version better.
Thank you.
That came from his wife.
Right.
Extra is ordinary in Sioux Falls. Just look at the numbers.
Oh, man.
In addition to having a business-friendly tax environment with no personal or corporate state income taxes, Sioux Falls is growing and has a large, well-educated workforce. Sioux Falls is about 300,000 people. Cost of living is low, and with a central location and developed industrial parks, so is your cost of doing business. Contact the Sioux Falls Development Foundation to connect with the resources to stop searching for a perfect business site and start growing in Sioux Falls. Number 3 in economic growth and strength, according to Polycam, Sioux Falls ranks first in the nation for total bank assets, $3.5 trillion. You know what that tells me?
They got some money.
Well, you can probably get a loan. It's a business-friendly state. It's the best small city for business and careers, according to Forbes, and it's the best state business tax climate, according to the Tax Foundation. SiouxFallsDevelopment.com.
Truth, justice, and the Souchere.
So I'm over at the NAC talking to a GLer this morning about Seafoam, the must-haves that all of us should have from Seafoam. And I've been saying some of these Seafoam products make great gifts. Don't laugh. I don't know anyone of driving age that wouldn't love a spray bottle of Bugs Be Gone right now. It's absolute magic. You spray it on your windshield or anything with dead bugs or organic matter. You wait a few minutes and you wash them off with ease. Bugs Be Gone has those bugs sliding right down the windshield before you can even hit it with a squeegee. I've actually come out of my shell and given demonstrations to strangers at gas pumps that have been fighting to scrub them off. It's amazing stuff. The Seafoam engine treatment, well, that stands on its own. Millions of users can attest to its effectiveness in preserving today's bad gas. And the Seafoam Deep Creep, perfect for cleaning and protecting metal. It lubricates, it displaces moisture, and it's perfect for freeing up rusty parts. Deep Creep, Bugs Be Gone, and the engine treatment additives must have for all GLers and their friends and family. And yeah, give them as a gift. You're going to be loved and appreciated and thanked for your effort. Go ahead, laugh right now, but you'll... Go ahead. You'll be thanking me later. Our own lucky company with a global reach, our friends, Seafoam.
I'm going to share with you my concerns about the new pope, and you can straighten me out. All right?
Yep.
I'm basing this on absolutely nothing except instinct. I think we're going to see a revolutionary new way in which the Pope is going to be, whether he wants to or not, become a more present character in culture. For example, his brother was on the news yesterday.
Okay.
Delightful fellow, talking about how they play Wordle together and they do this and that. And he now fears he won't be able to reach him and talk to him because he'll be terribly busy. And it got me thinking that I'm not saying he's going to come out wearing a Nike slash on the robe, but I am saying that, what am I trying to say?
What are you saying?
He's going to become...
Putting himself in the middle.
Yeah, he's going to become a topic for a voracious media. The American media sensibility, such it is, will blossom into full force now that they have an American Pope to work with. And it'll become a big deal, in other words, if he roots for the Cubs or the White Sox. His brother started a media campaign in Chicago, insisting he wants people to know he's not a Cubs fan. Okay, that kind of thing is going to take off. I'm not suggesting by any stretch of the imagination that he would enjoy that. I'm saying that's what's going to happen.
Well, there was a report that surfaced that said he watched the Chicago White Sox win 41 games last year and still believes in God.
Well, that's not bad.
See, that's pretty good.
Yeah. So it's just going to be different, I guess, is what I'm saying. It's just going to be different.
Well, I think what you're saying is people are going to be paying attention more.
No,
and because he's American, there is a level of, what am I trying to say? A regular guy.
Oh, wait, you inspired me.
Go.
You inspired me. He'll be more routinely a topic compared to popes, generally speaking, aren't in the news that often. They're certainly in the news.
Here in the States, you're saying?
Well,
So
anywhere.
They'll
But here
defer
in the
to
States,
him and his opinion and what he says.
what am I saying?
Oh, no.
You're saying that people are going to be paying closer attention to his daily activities as opposed to Pope Francis coming out and saying,
He's going to be fair game for an insatiable media. He's going to be fair game in a way that no pope has ever been. There, I think I'm getting close.
Okay. But do you also think there's
He's identified with things that we can identify with. Baseball, Chevrolet.
a Chicago upbringing with his brothers? But you can picture in your mind's eye, and it makes you more interested about his upbringing, where the other popes, I don't know what Francis's upbringing was. I don't know what John Paul was. It was tragic.
It was covered. I mean, during the tenure of his papacy, you learned about his...
But I don't have that commonality where a guy from Chicago that becomes pope.
Yeah, you can identify everything.
You're right.
Identify with everything. Maybe even what I'm suggesting isn't a bad thing. Maybe it's a good thing. I don't know.
How much does his influence have on the day-to-day living of citizens around the world? I've seen the last pope that just passed be criticized for his political angle, and I just think, didn't affect me. Did it affect you guys? You're all Catholics. How did it affect you?
Francis was kind to the kind of people that what's passing for a conservative movement today, by the way, is not a conservative movement. What's passing for the conservative movement today frowned on him being so friendly to the kinds of people that the conservative movement doesn't want anything to do with.
Right. How much power?
So the guy's vilified for being a good human being.
Right. Well, how much power does he really have? And when was the last time we had a pope that had any power? World War II? Would be my guess. I don't know.
What was your question?
How much power does he have?
Well, look at it this way. Who was the Polish Pope, Brooke? John Paul. Poland was on the verge of civil war. Poland was on the verge of civil war. A Polish Pope was named, which might not have been an accident. And Poland was no longer on the verge of civil war.
All right. That's
power.
That is power.
Well, look at Leo the 13th with Attila the Hun.
Do you think there's a method to their madness that the Sea of Cardinals thought that they're doing America a favor, I wonder? Because they look at America as just a place that's crashed up on the shores of hedonism and ridiculous
Sodom and
lifestyles,
Gomorrah.
and they think, you know what? Let's do an American pope and see what happens.
I really thought it was going to be a black pope.
An
I didn't see that
African
coming.
or an Asian.
Right.
Or,
I didn't see this coming.
I didn't either. I don't know anybody who did. But all I'm saying is, he'll be fodder for commentary. More so, in this country, more so than any other pope. Well, and again, maybe that won't be bad. Maybe that's not a bad thing.
I really thought the instant commentary yesterday when we found out he was American, that a lot of people around the globe were saying things like, well, if you have to pick an American, I guess this guy is okay.
Or there was a lot of people saying, okay, bingo on Thursday nights. You know, all that cliche stuff.
Do you want some papal trivia?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Does the Pope get paid?
Yes, about $500,000 a year.
No, the leader of the Roman Catholic Church does not get paid
Yes,
what
he
many
does.
consider a traditional salary. Instead, the Vatican provides a pontiff's needs from housing, food, transportation, and other expenses in the form of stipends.
No, they
and
get money
allowances.
because Francis gave his away.
Pope Francis declined any sort of salary when he took office in 2013, but the
He
Economic
just
Times
used the word salary, see?
Question.
Well,
There's a salary. It's in euros.
adding that the
about $450,000 euros, I think.
the pontiff at the time had a net worth of around $16 million, which includes various assets provided to him as
pontiff?
Pope
Which-
Francis.
Well, you're counting the assets of the Vatican, for God's sakes. He didn't
go.
have that.
And if he starts a podcast, he gets to do a rev split here with the sales staff.
Let's go.
John and Joe, do you remember when, I bet you don't, when JFK was running for president?
Sure.
I
John
it's-
won't. but-
I've read about it, but I obviously I wasn't around. And from what I've read, the country was worried because JFK was a Catholic.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Did that prove to be a non-factor, didn't it?
Yes. But to this day, you can go in the converted basements that are now Knotty Pine rec rooms of the average middle-class home in America, and you'll find a picture of JFK.
May I ask you a question as the host of the program?
Sure.
What's been your more fun list? The list of fun facts with the loons or the fun facts with the Pope?
Which do you want?
I mean,
you got to choose.
You've got one
Must
avenue
choose
to go down.
wisely, or eternal damnation.
Loons.
Matthew, you really became derailed with the income thing. Just
Yeah, Matt.
completely absorbed
Matt,
you.
they're not going to the clubs.
You're wondering if
I
he
need
has
to get
spinner,
drive-through.
Does he have
Yes.
spinner wheels on the Pope Mobile?
Who pays when they go through the drive-through at Wendy's?
Yeah.
You know? Does he get a double?
There, you're talking
Or is he
about
frugal?
exactly talking about the kinds of things that I was trying to articulate, and I'm failing miserably.
I
it's
think
going
I
to be
understand
different.
you.
It's going to be different.
Is his first grocery list, about what he wants to eat for the week? Does he go for the olives? Does he go
Joe.
for the jackpot? Or is he like, I would like
Joe.
some humble ramen noodles?
Get control of your rabid dog. would
Yeah,
you?
stop.
Or does he want,
No,
let's
stop
get the corned
means
beef out.
stop means stop.
No, that's Dr. No means no.
Keep going, Matt. Joe, stop him. Keep going, Matt.
Okay. Potato. Yes. Fried or sliced? Why am I talking as if I am a non-believer? He wants a Hebrew chef.
What have I asked you? What have I asked you?
It's like lighting a brick of firecrackers up. You can't stop. it
You
once
asked
they're
me to
going.
stop singing, and I haven't done it yet today.
Oh my God.
Yes, Heavenly Father.
Friday.
Yes.
Something.
Now, loon trivia.
Today you have the lighting of an angel.
Stop.
Yes, you have asked me to stop. What have I asked you?
I'm just telling you that
Let's go.
There'll be. I bet he'll be the topic of conspiracies and all the
think he already
things that
is,
the
yeah.
modern media is engulfed in.
Yep. I don't think there's any reason to think otherwise.
I bet most guys selected Pope rue the day.
What?
I bet you heard me.
I wasn't paying attention.
No, how could you say that? It's their opportunity to serve.
I know that, but I bet it's a burden that they would sooner not have.
That's what the brother said. The brother said during an interview, I bet he's heavy with burden right now.
Yeah.
Because he's worried about the church.
So much for retirement. Is that what you're saying?
No. Especially with this guy. He's only 69. That's the first time there's been a pope younger than me.
How does that make you feel?
Old.
Pretty old.
Mm-hmm. Say it's official now. It's official in Minneapolis. The Minneapolis City Council voted unanimously. When did they do this? I guess this week. To approve an ordinance that adds height, weight, housing, and justice-impacted status to the list of categories that receive civil rights protections in the city of Lakes. With their unanimous vote, the 13 city council members have sent the ordinance to the desk of Mayor Jacob Fry for his signature. While Fry could veto the proposal, the city council can easily override any veto with just 9 votes. As such, the ordinance appears set to be added to the city's law books, regardless of what the mayor does. Under the newly passed ordinance, discrimination based on justice-impacted status, which is a euphemism for if you're a criminal, would be banned in educational institutions, so the schools would have to hire the felon, professional organizations, employment matters, public accommodation, and property rights. The justice-impacted status is defined as the state of having a criminal record or history, including any arrest, charge, conviction, period of incarceration, or past or current probationary status. So you can be a criminal on probation and you now have civil rights protections that would step in case you're going to claim you didn't get the job because you're a criminal on probation. In short, many different organizations and individuals could be forced to ignore a person's criminal record. There are exemptions that allow employers and schools to consider how a criminal history could impact the job. For example, the ordinance allows employers to choose not to hire criminals for positions that involve working with children and positions in law enforcement. Well, that's kind of good, isn't it? You don't want the local sheriff to be a thug.
Nope.
No. And then you got your height is now covered, your weight is now covered, your housing status is now covered. This is what council people do when they have no knowledge or interest in actually worrying about the things that keep a city running. This is what they do. They pursue their ideologies and their agenda.
Backwards.
Civil rights ordinance already prohibits discrimination based on race, color, creed, sex, gender identity, and many other categories in various areas. These are all new, weight and height.
Got it.
Right.
What's left?
Height doesn't news.
Anything left?
That is a great question. What is left? Because they're not done. This is all they think about.
What about, I know, my thoughts.
Please, don't go there.
Okay.
That's so dark.
All right.
And it's so true.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
Well, harken back to the emailer about the way the failed academy thinks.
Yeah.
If someone feels they've experienced discrimination, the ordinance allows people to file claims with either the Department of Civil Rights or the Minneapolis Commission on Civil Rights. I wonder why we have a Department of Civil Rights and a Commission on Civil Rights in Minneapolis. Why is the government so big?
Just keeps growing.
The addition of height, weight, housing status, and justice impacted status to the list of protected classes, means anyone in the city could allege discrimination based on one of those factors, and the city would have to investigate. And there goes your money bogged down in this trail of muck, because this will result in mucky like quicksand.
Muck it up.
I don't even know what the hell I'm trying to say.
Either.
Somebody who's morbidly obese.
Hi, I'm Kenny.
Could now say, well, I didn't get hired as at the perfume counter at Nordstrom's because they think I'm too heavy. Well, what's Nordstrom supposed to do? Say that's exactly right. We don't want that tub scaring off the perfume buyers.
I prefer fatty over tub,
Right.
if you don't mind.
Yeah, what is your litmus test, Ken?
Yeah.
Do you remember, Joe, maybe you've read A Confederacy of Dunces?
Yes.
Or maybe you haven't. I don't know. Remember the guy weighed 400 pounds or whatever? And he'd go apply for jobs all
Right.
the time. And sometimes he'd get them and sometimes he wouldn't.
Right.
But he blamed that for everything. He
Well,
said
you
it
already
was,
got guys with two butts trying to get extra airline seats. Their butts are so big they got two butts.
Yeah.
I saw a picture of a woman whose front butt was so much bigger than her rear butt that she wore her blue jeans backwards. So the back pockets were in the front. Because the front butt was massive.
I got you.
Massive. It was morbidly obese.
Morbidly. Hey, I'm in the middle
You'll
seat
learn
here.
more here by
I'm in the middle
accident
seat.
than elsewhere by design. Joe Souchere.
It should say whether you want to or not.
Yeah, you're learning that, S.
Yes, what two birds met in the insane asylum?
What's that?
A cuckoo and a loon.
In any event.
More later.
In any event. In any event,
Yes.
that's the current state of Minneapolis. Never mind the disappearing tax base. Never mind the crime.
Never mind the loons.
Never mind anything. We got her covered now. No matter how tall or short you are, no matter how skinny or heavy you might be, no matter if you're a criminal or you're living under the 3rd Street Bridge, you're going to get all of the same rights as everybody else. Now, I would imagine much of that is justified, but that doesn't leave employers with much choice.
Right.
And I guess they're not allowed to have choices. Right. No
Should
one
not
wants
be allowed to have
I don't
choices.
want to deprive anybody
Nope.
of a job, but what if they can't do it? What if someone who is unfortunately terribly obese applies to be a window washer? No, you can't. It's too
Whoa.
dangerous. You can't climb
I'd
ladders.
sit there and watch, though.
It's too dangerous. No, for your own good, we're saying no, we're not hiring you. What are they going to do? Go file a lawsuit? Can you imagine hanging from the roof of the IDS tower?
No, move to the
And
left.
you're on one of those pulley
Oh, my
suspended.
God. And it's just leaning like that.
That rope is just screaming
right.
for mercy.
Let me down.
Oh, we better take a time out.
Before I do this North American Banking Company ad, I need one more loon joke.
Yes, I do have one at the ready for you. A loon named Maury walks into a bar and says, "Hey, you got any fish crackers?" The bartender replies, "Sorry, we only serve food here."
North American
Thank
Banking
you,
Company.
Bilski.
You're welcome. Mr. Bilski, that was just for you. North American Banking Company has 6 Twin Cities locations to serve you. God,
I'm leaving.
We're all going to have a 6 o'clock meeting today. So that's a great time to get in touch with our friends at North American Banking Company. Whether it's in Roseville, 50th in France, Hastings, Woodbury, Shoreview, or Maple Grove, they offer all of the services as the other big national banks. Whether you're looking to buy a home, finance a new home renovation project, or get that new car that you've been thinking about, they will be able to help you out. And they also offer all of the same online and mobile banking options as the other big banks, but the key difference is you're going to get the unparalleled service of a community bank. And you know what? Now's the time, too. If you're looking at maybe doing a refinancing project, hey, they're going to be able to help you out. A home equity line of credit from North American Banking Company is going to give you flexible access to funds when you need them most. So check them out online today. It's nabankco.com to learn more. Once again, it's banking done differently. North American Banking Company, member FDIC, is an equal housing lender.
That morphed together.
Here's a man who spends hours in hardware stores, sifting through the nuts and bolts of life. Joe Souchere.
Kenny, I would like you to use two words in this. Morphs together. If you can work that in.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Okay, hold back then.
What I've been imagining is the possibilities. Imagine, if you will, the possibilities. With ProfessionalTurf.com, you could actually have ProTurf wake up your lawn irrigation system in the spring, then treat your lawn with weed killer and fertilizer all summer long, giving you the best lawn in the block, and then install a brand new amazing outdoor environment that's going to make you the royalty of your neighborhood. And after having the best lawn in the neighborhood all season long, they can come back in the fall and put that irrigation system to bed for you. As for the lawn treatments, more and more GLers doing it every spring, seeing the results, and then wondering why they didn't do this years ago. It's so simple. You click on that link, and ProTurf, they send out an experienced service tech, and they're going to assess your situation, then customize a slow-release fertilizer and weed control plan that's environmentally safe and guaranteed for superior results. Check them out and check out all the work they do, and then schedule that free estimate at ProfessionalTurf.com.
I have it. Rook, ProTurf came to my place. They morphed together my lawn and that beautiful brick patio that they built on the backside of my house.
All right, well done. Well done.
Here's John Height.
Oh, hey.
Thank you, Joe. This news is brought to you by North American Banking Company. We start out with this sports note, of course. Timberwolves even up their series 1 game apiece with Golden State. They beat Golden State last night, 117-93.
Why can't they play like that every
night?
Game 3 takes the two teams to the West Coast. It'll happen tomorrow night, starting time 7:30 our time.
You know who I don't like? Draymond Green.
Draymond's got some issues.
He's an angry man.
Yes, he is. And then, of course, he had to play the race card at the end of the game today.
I didn't know that.
Yes, he did. He did. He's just
what? Did he got a technical?
What did he say?
He said that everyone thinks I'm an angry black man because he was basically he was insinuating that a fan was hurling racial slurs at him.
I think he is an angry black man.
Well, fine. Draymond, you're playing in the NBA. Whatever. He's just a fraud. Everything about him is he's a fraud.
The very diversified National Basketball Association.
Is he about 90 years old?
He's old. Yeah.
He's pretty good, though.
He's still a good player.
I've seen a lot of pictures depicting rage in these guys. Like they score a three-pointer, instead of celebrating, they go, "Yeah, take that, you sons of bitches!"
Yeah.
Is that real, or am I imagining?
Trash talking.
How about Anthony went down last night? I thought they're going to have to bring a helicopter in to get him out of there.
The hell out
And
of
the
him.
next thing you know, he's playing again.
Get up.
Who was the Twins guy who did that, John? Gomez. Carlos Gomez?
Carlos Gomez.
Oh, my God. He hit the outfield wall, and you thought, there's 15, 20 stitches right
Thank
there.
you for helping me be faster.
Yeah.
In news, a sex offender back in custody today after he escaped from a treatment facility in St. Peter overnight. St. Peter Police Department said 45-year-old Bo Jacob Edward Zimmer was taken into custody just after 7 in the morning. According to police, a citizen saw Zimmer and notified police, who were notified of his escape about 1:30 in the morning. According to the police chief, Matt Grochow, Zimmer was armed with a knife at the time he was arrested and had checked the knife out from the facility late Thursday evening. Police had said at the time of his escape he might be carrying a knife with a 3-inch blade. Zimmer had cut off his GPS ankle bracelet, was spotted walking about 3 miles west of town on County Road 5 by a passerby, who then notified police, who then arrested Zimmer.
This just in, John, and it's pertinent. It's news.
This comes to us from our buddy Josh, who routinely sends us stuff.
Carol Evan has uncovered allegations of forged signatures, fake billing, and millions in taxpayer dollars under the Housing Stabilization Services Program. This is crazy, said Stephen Smith. Smith read over statements that show his Medicaid insurance was billed thousands of dollars to help him find housing after he finished inpatient treatment for substance use disorder. I never got an hour of help, he said. A Carol Evan investigation uncovered allegations of fraud and forged signatures tied to a Minnesota housing program intended to support people with disabilities, including those like Smith, who are recovering from addiction. This program, we covered it earlier this week, I believe. The program, known as the Housing Stabilization Services, is funded through Medicaid and overseen by the Minnesota Department of Human Services. State records show that The Housing Stabilization Services has surged since the program's launch in July 2020, reaching a total cost of $248 million by the end of 2024. The HSS provider who billed for allegedly helping Smith find and maintain housing is Leo Human Services, a for-profit company Assad Adow runs out of a Brooklyn Park office and a home in Blaine where he lives with his parents. In 2024, Leo Human Services billed taxpayers $1.2 million, making it one of the top 10 HSS billers statewide.
Joe, there are 7,000 plus employees of the Minnesota Department of Human Services with an annual budget of $45 million. 7,000.
$45 million. That sounds
I'm
low.
guessing that might be payroll?
I don't know. But this is the Department of Health and Human Services is supposed to be overseeing this relatively new program called Housing Stabilization Services. And here you got this phony living at home in Blaine called Leo, it was Leo Company. He got $1.2 million and didn't do anything for it. We're so Cockwomble is so. It's just pathetic.
But he's up on Cross Lake catching
It's
some
pathetic.
fish.
This state is in pathetic shape. It's terrible.
He's wetting a line, Chris.
Controversy in Washington County over speed bumps. Sam Scott owns a horse farm along Justin Trail, and he's the man who hired a contractor to install the speed bumps. Scott said, "We're just trying to slow it down so everybody is safe." Scott told our friends at 5 Eyewitness News he's had issues with the city over the lack of guidance on a speed limit on the road for years. He even took questions to court over what his property is. He said the Washington County judge proved what we had said, that this is my property. People love to walk by, and I just couldn't live with myself if there was a tragedy that happened. So I went ahead and did it. And according to a Washington County judge, I was fully within my rights. That's why Scott believes he was justified in putting in the speed bumps. He emphasized he's concerned about the safety of others. But neighbors are unhappy with the speed bumps, and Grant County says they were not installed legally. Grant Mayor Jeff Giefer released a statement, part of which said, on or about Friday, May 2nd, speed bumps were installed on Justin Trail without city authorization in violation of Grant City Code. A private individual directed this work without obtaining the required permit from the city or its engineer. No member of the city staff or council approved the installation. The city has had a roadway easement since 1974 that requires the city to maintain that road. His statement goes on to say the city is actively working to resolve the situation. The speed bumps will be removed, he said, and the roadway restored to its original condition as quickly as possible.
Remind me, did you retire that nickname when we left the radio?
Speed bump?
Weren't you the speed bump?
I was a speed bump. That was on radio, though.
But not as a podcast.
No.
Got it. Okay.
Tell me where Grant is, Joe.
Between Matamita and Stillwater.
Boom. Just like that.
You can't miss it. There's a big sign that says Grant when you take that side road to Stillwater.
I love that side road. That's
do
a good
too.
one.
Used to be a neat dump in there. You go to the dump.
Really?
Yeah.
What'd you bring there?
I guess a dump isn't really neat.
No, it is.
Yeah.
No.
You'd bring a couch or something, you know.
I once crawled down in a dump with a acetylene torch and cut the floor out of a Studebaker trunk that then got installed in a Studebaker. Perfect condition, right in the dump.
I think that's
Just
very,
like new.
That's noble. It's very
Yeah.
noble.
Yep.
Like Royce's lawnmowers, when they don't work, he just gets rid of them.
National Weather Service has issued a fire weather watch for much of Minnesota this weekend. The weather this weekend, including the low humidity and winds, is expected to create near-critical fire conditions. The alert states that under the conditions, any spark could ignite a wildfire that rapidly spreads and becomes difficult to contain. The Minnesota DNR said all outdoor burning is discouraged. As of this morning, there's no open burning allowed in northwestern Minnesota, while central and northern regions require variance permits. A watch is in place from Saturday morning through Sunday evening for counties in northwest Minnesota, and on Sunday, starting in the morning, lasting until evening, 61 of Minnesota's 87 counties are under a fire weather.
I have for you a lilac update
Oh, boy.
that I provide every spring. And the update is There is no update.
You got nothing?
That's an update.
I've got the little green leaves, but no riotous burst of color.
So we're
yet.
budding. Are
We're
we
budding. We're budding.
Okay.
We're budding.
John, does everything? When is it tire burning season? When does that kick off?
Well, I'm gonna.
I've never burned a
depends
tire.
I know.
That's because you haven't
Never
lived.
burned a tire?
No, why would I
Do you
burn
know
a
how
tire?
many parties we fueled
Oh,
in rural
man.
North Dakota drinking beer and burning tires?
Well, I think it stunted your growth.
No, hold on.
I don't burn tires. I care about the earth.
Hey, y'all. Here's Kenny with news from the Crampy
You haven't
Coffee
lived,
Shop.
Mayor.
Everybody knows tire burning season comes in early May when you can stand outside and gather around a fire till the wee hours of the morning, shooting guns and drinking beer.
See?
And pulling fingers and passing gas.
But wouldn't it smell?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
You smell very odd after
That's-
those fires, and you
Yeah.
can turn colors.
Joe, you know why that is?
Skin.
You
The
burn
soot,
the
yeah.
tires so you let everybody know where the party's at.
Oh, I see.
Oh, it's that way.
Is Patrick bugging you?
Yes.
And then you can also make it smell like the city during the George Floyd.
John, do you have anything else that we should hear?
National stuff. David Souter, former Supreme Court
Yeah, he
Justice,
died.
died. We
Yeah.
know that. President Trump backing off on some tariffs to China, possibly, it looks like. They're going to get together this week and talk.
Wonderful.
Let's see. Trump administration pivoting a bit on Ukraine. Now seems to back the Ukraine side.
Okay, back and forth there. Yeah.
Back and forth there, yeah. We got a bunch of appointment stuff we don't need to go through. Denmark's mad because we're spying on Greenland.
I don't blame Denmark.
They filed
How
a-
tough is that, though, really, to spy on Greenland? That seems
It really
pretty
wouldn't
easy.
be. Yeah.
We stood outside.
Just show up and take a drive around, check things out.
I see them as just always leaving the gate open.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
They don't
Doors
close
are
the
always
gate.
unlocked.
What do they have to hide?
Keys are in the ignition.
Yeah.
Nation's biggest cities are sinking. We can maybe.
Oh, let
What
them
are
go.
they sinking
What
about?
are they
Matthew-
thinking about?
You had something yesterday via text about Trump tariffs. What was that?
Oh, yeah. What was that?
Yeah, I stole that, by the way. Hopefully you guys didn't think.
See, I was giving you credit for it, and I shouldn't have.
Trump tariffs are so effective
How effective are they?
that even the Pope is now made in America.
Ba-dum-bum-bum.
Yes.
Why don't we take a time out and bring in
Before we do that,
Patrick.
I was just alerted to this. On Rookie's favorite television show, The View,
Yeah.
former President Joe Biden made an appearance yesterday.
Not without his wife, I bet.
But he was reacting to a question from Joy Behar, one of the most esteemed reporters in the country.
Yeah.
The projects, the benefits. How do you lead the world without having the best infrastructure in the world? How do you lead the world without having the best healthcare in the world? How do you lead the world without having the best education system in the world? How do you lead the world when you don't have that done?
What?
How do you, Joe?
Why do they take him
Play
out?
play it backwards.
Here's in reverse.
Ready is the number.
The projects, the benefits. How do you lead the world
Okay,
without
I
having the best
can't- that
infrastructure?
really,
How do you lead the world without having the best healthcare?
That's a hard-hitting show he went on. Yeah. Why don't you take a time out and get Patrick?
The word was pronounced IAIAPGQLEWEMMMIKQI. That's that last word he tried to pronounce.
How about
I talk to you about my friends at Hofferman Water and Connecticut? You know what? If you want the best water treatment system going right now, Kenny, you're right. It's karma. I made fun of that, and now I'm going to be in audio corner right now. It's Hofferman Water and Connecticut, and right now it's the anniversary sale. So here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen. Up until the end of May, if you can update, here's the deal. Do it right now. And that's because a brand new system from Hofferman Water and Connecticut are going to do so many things that other water...
Butter.
Yes, there's more.
This is
Loon
called
jokes.
karma.
What did the
Son of
otter
a
say
bee.
about Hofferman?
Yes, it's $400 off a K5 reverse osmosis system. Yes, Patrick, you keep calling my cell phone, but we haven't stopped the program yet. You could also get a free A200 drinking water system with the purchase of a Premier Series softener. And also half off basic installation for any new 1-year rental contract. But the biggest thing is you have to get on that schedule and have them come up for that free water analysis. And you can do that one of two ways. You can go to HoffermanWater.com, and when you go on that website, you can see every single water treatment system they have to offer, or just give them a call directly at 612-895-2440. It's HoffermanWater.com.
And if they don't answer, just keep calling back, because that means he's not busy.
That's right. Or as I like to say, HoffermanWater.com, proudly serving the state of Minnesota for over 50 years. Please do me a favor and mention that you heard about them on the Garage Logic podcast.
Hey, Pat.
Yes, Joe.
I'll say what I always say. Why can't they play like that every night?
Well, they actually did for quite a while, but they finally, I thought, after that little spurt at the start of the second half when they were terrible and let it get down to 7, they played pretty good after that. But I really thought the first half was just San Francisco, with Golden State just being god-awful was the problem.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we discovered a couple of things. I don't think you can lose this series if Steph doesn't come back, because somehow they managed to screw up the Timberwolves and win the opener without him for 2.5 quarters. But the boys on TNT, Charles, and they were pretty well savaging the Warriors for not having anyone who could dribble.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody to really run an offense or anything, and when you don't have to guard Steph, you can worry about other people, and it's I don't know. I thought I wasn't there, but I thought the crowd was really, even in the second quarter when they were blowing them out, the crowd was still depressed from Tuesday. It wasn't the madhouse that it was for those 2 Laker games, games 3 and 4 when they beat the Lakers.
How about when Anthony went down and kind of pulled a Carlos Gomez? You thought, oh my God, he's going to die, and then he's back in the game. So that worked out.
There's a famous story, or there's a famous scene in the NBA laurels about Paul Pierce getting injured and demanding a wheelchair to get taken off the court.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be a fairly minor injury. And Charles last night said that was right out of the Paul Pierce handbook. The only thing he was missing was the wheelchair. He said. Yeah, I thought he was a little. He does that, but that one, I mean, they showed it. And the guy stepped on his foot, and you thought, well, maybe he did twist the hell out of his ankle, but he comes out to start the second half jumping around, right? Or
yeah.
He comes out,
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's got a little of that in him, but that doesn't make him the Lone Ranger in the NBA.
No, I understand.
Going on there. But,
I wonder what time we'll finally see a tip-off Saturday night.
7:30.
What, 9 is it supposed to be? 9?
7:30 Central.
Really, John?
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's 5:30 on the West Coast.
Last night they started on time because there was only one game last night. They didn't have to wait for the first one. The guy just pulled in next to me in a great big truck, and I got my door open. Okay. That could have been. He would have won. He would have won there. It's a Grand Wagoneer.
Do you want the gold one or the white?
Where are you?
What's the Grand Wagoneer get per gallon? About 4 miles?
I don't know. Where are you?
I am at a retail place that I'm buying something.
Dollar store.
Or Mother's Day.
I'm waiting for it. Oh, is that Sunday? By the way, is that Sunday?
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah.
She ain't my mother.
Oh, well, she doesn't expect me to come up with anything, but I should just, like, maybe if there's nobody else wanting to entertain her, I should take her to breakfast or something.
Well, I'm going to at least get a card, I suppose.
I
suppose.
Pat, if you really want to make her happy, you take her to breakfast and then you leave so she can eat alone. That'll cheer her up.
No, she's, of course, she is the grandmother of my grandkids, who are my stepson's kids. So I got to give her some credit for that, right? So
Yep,
that's a technicality.
Yeah, but it's up to them to give her the gift. You don't have to worry about it.
Mm-hmm. That is. Oh God, yes, yeah. That should be the case.
Get her a lawnmower.
Pope, ask about the Pope.
What do you think of the new Pope, Pat?
I'm all for a Chicago guy who roots for the White Sox to be the new Pope. I think that's great. You see, the Cubs tried to apprehend him as a Cubs fan, and then found out. Then his brother, somebody got a hold of his brother, and
it's a media campaign. He's not a Cubs fan.
He's not a Cubs fan, but the brother. How would you like to be the brother of the Pope? You're kind of living this
like Billy Carter.
Nobody's bothered. Nobody's bothered. You know, all of a sudden, 80 people are pounding on your door.
Right.
Tell us about the Pope. You know,
Pat, it's just I was shocked. I was gobsmacked at an American Pope.
I was too. But he spent enough time in Peru.
Yeah.
How about the number of languages he speaks?
Yeah. Pat, as you well know, to be the coach of the Canadiens, you have to speak French, no matter where you're from. I wonder if the Popes have to speak Italian.
Italian,
because he does,
and then Spanish from Peru,
yeah,
and then Portuguese, and he's got another one in there, and then he reads two others, but he doesn't speak them.
Yeah.
You know what this is?
What?
This is a holy man who wasn't out screwing around. He was studying when he wasn't out working with the faithful. He was studying languages. He's a very reverent guy. I got big faith in him.
Yep. Home court advantage? Do we got the home court advantage?
Yeah, you were rooting for home court advantage.
Yes, that's right. So, I didn't think of it. Has the trumpeter taken credit for it yet?
I can't wait to see how he's going to handle this, because suddenly you have an American who's now the most widely known person in the world.
And an American who has returned to social media in recent months just to retweet stuff about Trump's treatment of immigrants. So,
well, wasn't it a tariff thing, Rook? Isn't that what you read?
Yeah. Trump's tariffs are so effective that even the Pope is made in America.
Yes, that's true. That's true. My first blue sky message was, you're a tottering old man when you're 10 years older than the Pope.
I said that earlier today. It's the first time in our lives that the Pope is younger than us.
And older than the Pope. That's right. I mean, way old. Me, in my case, way older than the Pope.
That is amazing. I think it's neat, though. What if when he comes to Chicago, won't that be something?
Oh, God. I said if Mike Veeck was still with the White Sox, he'd get him to throw out the first ball.
Yes, he would. He'd try hard.
That'd be bigger than Disco Demolition Night.
We're going to try to get him on the show.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's American.
We're
He's
going to give
from
him the hotline.
Chicago. That's like going to Wisconsin.
Yep.
That's
Now,
nothing.
did you hear about his ethnic background, though? Mama's Martinez, and she's she's from Haiti? Was it?
I don't know.
Grandma was from Haiti.
Oh.
And his wife, and not his wife.
His wife.
Right.
Well,
he's not married.
His parents, the wife is as Martinez, I believe, and her family comes from Haiti, and then Dad is I don't know what Dad is some kind of a
Prevost, whatever that is,
German or some damn thing. So I don't know what his dad is, but he's seems to be he wore the robes instead of going out there in the white, so he didn't want to make a big show.
Did you say Martinez?
I think he did.
Hey, Sergio,
Venus kicked Martina's ass. No, Martinez.
Oh, Martinez.
Yeah,
oh,
not
okay.
Martinez.
Gotcha.
Martinez.
Pat, real quickly, we're running out of time, but are the Twins suddenly figuring things out?
Red hot.
I'll tell you what, the pitching staff is good. They got a good pitching staff, and Buxton is playing like we never could have imagined he was going to play. I mean, he strikes out 30% of the time. He made that throw. Did you see the throw home yesterday?
Oh, my God.
Unbelievable. I tell you, crafty old baseball man, Patrick Ricey, when the guy was rounding third and I saw he was throwing home, I said, what the hell are you throwing home for? Because the base runner was going to move up. Well, he threw him home to get him out. That was what he did.
And he did get him out,
That
right?
was a snipe.
Yeah.
That's what that was.
And the fat little catcher made a nice tag, which was the only thing that worthless son of a gun did to help him out all day.
Yeah. I'm going to say what you always say about California Angels games. If you don't go to a ball game this weekend, you ain't going because the weather is about as perfect as it has ever been in the history of the world.
And you have the Giants.
Yeah.
And your great-grandparents used to watch Willie Mays play for the Millers.
That's
Go to the
right.
game.
That's
Wow.
right. I'll talk to you Monday, lad.
If you're living out there in Brownton or something, go to the ball game.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right,
Yes,
take that break sound.
We should do that right now.
Oh, yeah.
It's the scramble.
It is, and it's brought to us once again by our friends at ProfessionalTurf.com, Mr. Joe Souchere.
Hey, it's Friday.
Hey!
And so it's time once again to recognize one of our loyal Gumption County residents as the GLer of the Week, brought to you by Masters Maples. Today we salute Tim Connolly from the capital city of St. Paul, Minnesota.
Nice.
Way to go, Tim. Thank you for your support of Garage Logic. You really didn't do anything. I mean, you get your name picked out of a hat, apparently. And thank you for being a faithful member of the town council, along with our warmest personal regards. You'll be getting that $50 gift box from Masters Maples, which we have learned is really worth more than $50 because you got the shipping and the handling and the postage and the whole deal.
I'm going to tell you right now, the seasonings alone from mastersmaples.com is worth everything. It's the best seasoning out there, seriously.
Listen every Friday. We will salute one town council member each and every week throughout the year as the GLer of the week. If you're not a town council member, go to garagelogic.com and sign up for an annual membership along with a Fratelloni gift card and all the other goods. You'll be interested. No, you'll be entered. Not entertained. God knows you won't be entertained.
That's not going to happen.
You'll be entered for a chance to be GLer of the Week this year. So Tim Conley from St. Paul gets the $50 worth of Masters Maples products.
Can we start when you say, because you always say we salute them, can we start doing the old hee-haw thing? You remember hee-haw when they salute a city?
I don't.
Well, you'd say,
salute.
Let's salute Tim Connolly, and then we all go, salute.
That's what they did on Hee Haw, huh, John?
That's what they did on Hee Haw, yeah.
Greatest American TV show ever. Joe, speaking of not being entertained, I have a idea for a GL contest where we could continue this forever. Instead of giving these wonderful gift boxes to people that we've already hoodwinked into joining the council, how about we give them to people that are so PO'd at us that they stopped listening? And we'll use this as bribery to start listening again.
Let's give one to Cockwomble.
Yeah, let's give them to our enemies.
Let's send Cockwomble a Maples Masters syrup box.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't know.
Hey, how do you like my color today of me personally? It's not the conniver.
You look dashing, Joe.
Well, Pat came down here, not Royce, our other Pat, and it was like going to the eye doctor. He had me sit in this chair, and he said, now, this one
or this one?
Or this one? This one or this one?
Camera one, camera two.
And then I go, give me the other one again.
I do too. Go back, give me the other one.
Yeah.
Because you can't tell a damn difference between them.
There's some, you can't tell.
Only because they come to us during this Garage Logic scramble all the way from Marloth Park in South Africa, Mpumalanga Province, South Africa. Africa. It's on this day.
Joe, sorry.
Yes?
Today is May 9th.
I didn't get to that.
I know you
yet.
didn't. I jumped the gun. I'm sorry. I'm very excited.
On this day,
May 9th.
In 1887, this damn town of yours gets in more history days.
What are we doing, Faribault?
The Flint Furniture Factory in Faribault burned. It was built in 1856. The factory was the first in the state to manufacture items for wholesale trade. So you'd have maybe a nice chair in your house, and it was built down at Flint Furniture.
The Flint Furniture. I'm unfamiliar.
No, you're paying attention now. We're not going to look up Flint Furniture.
Factory.
On this day,
On May 9th.
in 1918, Orville Freeman was born in Minneapolis. He served as our governor from 1955 to 1961, and later a U.S. Secretary of Agriculture. While governor, he responded to the 1959 strike at the Wilson and Company packing house in Albert Lea by declaring martial law and closing the plant. On this day,
It was on the riverfront, by the way.
okay, too bad there wasn't some source of water available to put out the fire.
Right, because the river was right there.
On this day,
May 9th.
in 1921, Daniel Berrigan was born in Virginia, Minnesota. As author and a radical Catholic priest, Berrigan wrote about social responsibility and played an active role in the anti-war movement during the Vietnam era. Later, he protested nuclear armament. His brother Philip, also a radical priest, was born October 5, 1923. On this day,
On May 9th.
in 1998, the suit State of Minnesota et al. Versus Philip Morris et al. Really enriched a lot of BMW dealers in Minnesota. It was settled when the defendants, the tobacco companies, agreed to pay Minnesota and Blue Cross Shield $6.5 billion. The settlement ended the company's chain of legal victories and turned the tide in the anti-tobacco efforts throughout the nation. And as I say, lots of
Lawyers got paid
Lots
that
of
day.
Cerise's lawyers had a great day that day.
They did.
Yeah. So did Mike. Well, what the hell? He's clever, isn't he?
Right.
Thank God he hasn't been in lately, because I would just lose whatever argument we were talking about.
When was the last time you chatted with Mike?
I see him. I usually try to see him every summer. Yeah.
It's fun watching and being a part of those discussions where you just
I just have no clue.
like
I
a
just can't
shih
handle
tzu.
it.
Yeah.
And finally, on this day,
Are you talking about May 9th?
in 2001, the Dalai Lama Tenzin Gyatso, head of state and spiritual leader of the Tibetan community worldwide, visited the Tibetan American Foundation of Minnesota and shared his message of compassion, tolerance, kindness, and peace. So I said to the Lama, I
The
says,
Dalai Lama of common sense,
How about a
Joe
little something,
Souchere.
you know, for
For
the
the
effort. And then he said, on your deathbed, you'll have total consciousness. So I got that going for me, which is nice. Which is nice. Oh,
No, you
sports
knowing
disappointment.
that. No, you knowing that and quoting that is one of the reasons why Cerisi could fold you like cheap copy. You think he could do that?
Cerisi's watch Caddyshack. Sports disappointment history on this day.
On May 9th.
This is sports related.
Yep.
Well, I suppose it would be. It's sports disappointment.
That would be
On this day,
on May 9th.
2013. What else? The Wild lost to the
Minnesota Wild,
Blackhawks
yep.
in the first round of the playoffs.
So we lost to them in 13 and 15?
You just think pretty much every time you played them.
Sure.
They lost.
Wasn't there something on this date regarding the Kicks, too? The soccer team?
No,
I thought I saw something this morning.
I think that was sports disappointment we had the other day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What was it like covering a Kicks game?
Weedy. Lots of weed in the parking lot.
I gotcha.
Yeah. I'm always amazed that everyone actually went into the game, because the parking lot was really fun.
I used to, when I first moved to the Twin Cities, I would go to every single concert at the Met and never go in.
No, a lot of people didn't go in.
Just one giant party. It was so fun.
There was a they used to have an event called Camper Night.
Oh, boy,
dear
that's,
God.
that's debauchery. Oh, my
And there was a certain reporter I won't name, but he would routinely not be in the press box, but everybody knew exactly where to find him.
I'm seeing flamingos and upside-down pineapples and all the codes.
They used to have a fly-in night. You know, if you had a Piper Cub or something, and you lived in Waseca,
What?
you'd fly in for the game. Yeah.
To MSP?
I suppose you had to land
Is
at,
this possible? On this day, the Kicks beat the Seattle Sounders 3-2 in front of 30,000 people at the Kingdom?
Oh, hell yes. But I'm surprised it was the Kingdom.
Wow.
Because that was the worst dump in the history of dome stadiums.
More so than
Far worse than the Metrodome.
And what's the dump in Tampa? Tropicana?
No, Tropicana would be worse. But the Kingdom was cement. It was a cement tomb that had no windows, no anything. And you were in there. It smelled like concrete. And the whole thing, the roof, everything was cement or concrete. Cement is the stuff that makes concrete, right?
Yes.
There you go.
And it was just horrible. Just horrible. The Metrodome was a glare of...
Was Yankee Stadium.
Yankee Stadium compared to that dump. Oh, I was going to say, how do you like my... No, I did that already.
Yeah, okay.
Jeez.
Here we go.
A story from the New York Times, Joe.
Yeah.
July 31st, 1971. For more than 10,000 people from 20 states and 3 Canadian provinces, home this weekend is the concrete parking lot at Metropolitan Stadium.
Yep.
An unusual promotion in the era of Bat Day, Ball Day, Cap Day, and Pantyhose Day. This is Camper Day.
Yep.
Wow.
They used to have a Nuns Day when the crowd was just full of people who looked like penguins from a distance, you know. God. They had halter top days.
I was born too late.
Well, you didn't miss much.
Oh, my God.
Are you kidding me? It sounds like I missed everything.
Yeah.
Story's wonderful. Just a lot of the people, they just came and camped. They didn't go to the game.
No,
They
they just
couldn't
camped.
about the game. Brought the family. Few of them went to the game. Some of them didn't. They cooked
Flip
outside.
open that lawn chair, cooler right next to
The
you.
marketing, I would say, was primitive compared to today. It was primitive.
Yeah. Wow.
Thank you very much, GLers. You got any big plans for the weekend?
Mother's Day.
That's right. I better get a card.
She ain't my mother.
She ain't my mother.
Do us a favor if you haven't done so already. Please subscribe to the Garage Logic YouTube channel. Yeah, that's right. Garage Logic has a YouTube channel, and on that channel, you can interact with GLers each and every single day while we're doing the show live, starting right around noon. Yeah, it's all there for you, including full segments, video shorts, behind-the-scenes footage in some cases, but find out more at the Garage Logic YouTube channel. And follow us along on all of our social media channels, which includes Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and sign up for the Daily Logician. That email comes right to your inbox each and every single day, and it includes the most recent episode of the podcast. Hey, happy Mother's Day. Have a great weekend.
Happy Mother's Day to all you mothers.
Yeah.